Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Well, good morning.
We're live on YouTube.
How do I find it on YouTube, boss?
That is a good question. I think I have them about to post the link, but you're not going to be able to.
I have two computers running.
It's going to give a feedback loop.
Oh, then I won't look.
Like going live on the radio. But here, I'm going to put the link in the chat. I couldn't get it to go over my ASD account. I had to use my personal YouTube account.
That's interesting.
So now how do I share it?
We can share it on the Facebook page, right?
Yeah, I'm going there right now.
Our video is adorable. I did not recognize Miss Smith.
She had a mask on.
I know, and I had to watch it 4 times before I figured out it was Miss Smith.
Yeah.
I'm like, which teacher's missing? I'm clicking them off in my head. I'm also an idiot, so there's that.
You just told everybody out there watching us live on YouTube that you're an idiot. So.
I'm fairly certain there's not that many people watching live on YouTube yet.
Okay. The question is, like, is this link going to be the same link every time? Can I get a standard link? Because it's not going to do us a whole lot of good. Like for the APC meeting, we want to be able to send this out, prior.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
I guess I do.
Is it on that?
Huh? Yeah.
Is it? I don't know much about YouTube, so sorry. I'm not very.
Nope. Copy streaming link. So should I send it out?
Stream is streaming.
Streaming is streaming. Yeah, it's the same link. So might be the same link every time. Problem is I can't go to YouTube and see it because, well, I can. Because I'll get feedback.
Get one of your kids in the back of the house to go to YouTube.
Oh yeah. Well, they're not up yet.
Tammy. Oh, well, my husband is. Let me. I'm going to call my husband from downstairs.
Yeah.
Hi, are you at your computer?
I am.
So we're testing out our Zoom Coffee with the Principal. We're streaming to YouTube.
Okay.
Can you, I don't know how to send you the link though.
Oh,
I can read it to you and you can type it into your bar.
yeah, stand by. You there?
I am here.
All right, hang on, let me plug my phone in.
Daryl's on there, said it's working. Is Pete on there now? Good morning, Stream Academy, coming to you live on YouTube.
Something called morning coffee?
Yes, that's what it's called.
Hey, we have our first caller. Good morning. It's Pete. How you doing out there, Pete? Welcome to YouTube Live.
I can see him. I think I hear him in your background. Hold on. Let me turn my audio on. I've got no audio from my Morning Stream Academy coming to you live on YouTube. There he is. Something called morning. Yes, that's what it's called. Hey, we have our first caller. Good morning.
Thanks. How does it look, babe?
Oh, I need to make you a co-host. You can let people in. Okay. You're now the co-host of our
Okay.
radio show.
All right. Thanks, honey. Thanks for testing it. Can you run it in the background for me and see how it goes? I'm going to hang up. Okay, Pete? Just watch it this morning.
We'll try to keep you entertained.
Daryl is on YouTube as well.
Yeah, he said there's a 1 minute delay. That's why, which I heard through you having Pete test it. Now it feels like we're doing like a radio show or
So we should be doing a radio show.
yeah. Coming to you live from the Corona apocalypse.
Now I kind of think we should be entertaining the masses out there in YouTube.
I know. This is the nicest shirt I've put on in 14 days.
It's Stream Gear Day, boss. You should be wearing stream gear.
I know, but I want it to look presentable. This isn't just a Zoom meeting anymore. I'm live on YouTube.
An opportunity to show off to the world that we can still button shirts.
Yeah, I got one of them anyway.
One button buttoned or one shirt?
One button.
Oh, okay. Well, you think anybody's going to drive by and have coffee with us this morning?
I don't know. We had 10, 12 people on the first time, so I think so. I gently encourage teachers to join. It's optional for them, but I told them how nice it was, because it was nice to have a couple teachers on the first one that were able to answer questions I can't answer. I can't.
Yeah, it was super great to have Howard here.
I'm not the expert on Google Classroom that they are by far, so That's helpful. It also should be recording it, which should be super nice for the APC meeting, because then we can put out a link. We can put out a link to the recording and just say, go here to watch the recording of the meeting if you want to watch the recording of the. I can't imagine somebody wanting to watch a full YouTube recording of an hour, 2 hour long meeting. Good morning, Gail.
Yeah, you have to click the button that says join audio. There she goes.
Got it?
Yep, she got it. Now
And
she has to unmute herself. So now click the button that says mute. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. Good morning, Gail.
That's good practice for you.
She muted herself again. Here, I'll unmute her.
Okay.
Oh,
You are muted. You are unmuted. Okay. So if I touch the space bar, does that mute me then?
If you're mute and you hold the space bar down, it should unmute you while you're holding it.
Oh, okay.
so right now you're unmuted. So if you want to use that space bar feature and stay muted, then go ahead and in the bottom left-hand corner, just click mute.
Oh, okay. My coffee isn't done yet.
It's gonna be hard to have coffee with us if you don't have coffee.
Well, it's coming. It's just not there yet. It's perking. I can hear it. Or whatever, dripping, because they don't perk anymore. That was the olden days. Yeah.
Yeah, perk. What's this perk you're talking about?
Yeah, I know. So Adam, I will work on getting an agenda to you this week before Friday, well before Friday.
Yeah, we're good, Gail. As long as we have it, as long as you get it to me before
Oh, you want me?
Sunday evening, I can get it posted on Monday.
Is that early enough? Because we're having.
Yeah, that's
meetings
early
today.
enough because that gives us a couple of days because the meeting's on Wednesday.
Oh, okay. All right. I've got to find the template first.
I might be able to re-email that to you.
I don't know that I ever had it, but that's okay. And Adam's giving me a bunch of stuff, and Whitney said she'd help if I need any help, so we're good.
Has your email is now yip_Gail, right?
Yeah.
All right, I just re-emailed you a template.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it's my job. That's what I'm here for.
So how's it going with everyone? How's it going?
I think it's going okay. Adam, you're muted. Yeah,
Oh.
so did you see the video that streamed?
Yeah, with all the people that on Instagram, that was so wonderful. Did you put it on Facebook too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, nice job.
Yeah, that was good. Who stitched it together?
Nicole Staker.
Oh.
She said that's her niche. So
Cool.
Excellent.
That was smart, because kids need to see everybody's faces,
yeah.
not just the teachers that they see, for their core.
Great.
So that was really well done. Well done.
Good morning, Howard.
Howard's in his new home that he's just insulated.
Wow. Cool. Where?
We can't hear you, Howard.
I'm
I,
the only one. Yay.
hey, yeah, my line is it's a local place, a little bit out of town. That's as much as I'll tell you.
Oh, that's okay, Howard. I'm not coming hunting looking for your house.
All right.
Though our dogs would probably have fun playing together.
Oh, yeah. How
Good for
you doing?
you.
Is this Cleaver's old house?
Yep,
Sweet.
yep. This is my art studio.
Wow, nice.
I know it is. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm sure there'd be a spot for you to teach art on a distance at some point. But
Just tell them to go to YouTube. There's so much there.
I know, but like that's the challenge I think we have is there's so much great stuff out there, and,
Oh.
and
Yeah.
you got to kind of lead them up to it.
Yep, that's true. That is true.
Good morning, Jen.
Good morning, Adam. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Morning.
I'm doing pretty good. Morning, Gail.
We are live on YouTube this morning.
Live on YouTube today.
Ooh.
Okay, so why are we doing that? Why are you doing it on live? on
We're
YouTube?
testing it so that we know we can do it for the APC meeting because it's makes it a true public meeting. We can put out the YouTube link and anybody can watch our APC meeting, even if they don't have the capacity to use Zoom, which might be a little more technical or whatever. So that's just another way to put out a public meeting to folks.
Okay.
So similar to the school board broadcasting on a local television channel, we're going to be broadcasting on YouTube.
Oh, great. Couldn't we do that after I was done being in charge? I do not like to be in charge in the front. I'm a grunt worker, grunt laborer.
Well, we really appreciate that you stepped up for the next couple of months to helping us out here, Gail. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. Hey, you're welcome. Wow. So Howard, what's the next project?
Oh my gosh. Well, I got a log outside that I just brought home after work yesterday. Let's see if you can see it. Can you see it out there?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna peel that, and I'm building this deck with a lot of log stuff. So, and we've been rounding up the logs for the last many years, and that's the last one.
Cool. I like the look so far.
Yeah, it's really it's nothing yet, but it'll be. Thank you.
Lots of light.
Lots of light. There's no artificial light in here at the moment.
Wow. And it looks like you're high up, so that means you don't have to, you're not hiding from the little bit of light we get in the winter.
That's right. Yeah, it's all solar. Everything here is solar powered
Cool.
and wood powered, which. Yeah. So Adam, how many people came to our last your last coffee talk?
10 to 12, I think.
Wow.
Morning, Joe. Morning, Melissa.
Morning.
Good to see you guys.
Likewise.
Oh,
Multitask over.
We have Andronell has joined us. Good morning. Michelle is on and said hi in the chat. Tyler Robinson, good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, good. How's everything over your neck of the woods?
Oh, some days we're managing, some days we're not.
Are you able to work from home now as well?
Yep. Katie and I are both working. So we're, some days doing four Zoom calls at a time and all that good stuff.
Good morning, Andronell. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. This is the first time I haven't had a work-related Zoom at this moment since all this craziness began, so I'm happy to be here.
Yesterday, I intentionally did not drop in on classes the first week. I thought, oh, this is a great idea. As soon as they start all their office hours and things, I'm going to jump in and say hi. And, but I thought, you know, I thought I'd let teachers and kids get started and feel safe before people start dropping in on them. So yesterday was the first time I dropped in. I dropped into an advisory, 6th grade advisory, and it was so nice. It was so cool to see the faces of our kids, and kids were excited. And I got to talk with some of our 6th graders and visit with their advisory group. And so I had my first Zoom meeting with kids. I've done, feels like 1,000 Zoom meetings since all this started, but that was the first one with kids. It was really cool.
Good.
Yeah.
So was that during their advisory?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, we're doing, teachers are doing office hours a couple days a week. And that's not intended to be like direct instruction. That's just intended to be check-in, support, get help, and that's open to parents and students. That's the schedule's published on the web, and I think maybe today we'll be able to get out. We've been working on narrowing that schedule down to grade level schedules. So right now, what's on our web page is the office hour schedule for the whole staff, for everybody, and you can sort through that and look for the ones that apply to you. But that can be, I can see how that could be a little tedious. So what we've been working on, what we're about ready to put out, is a version of that for each grade level. So we'll have a 6th grade office hours schedule. So if you have a 6th grader, you can just go to that one, not have to sort through all the other stuff, and see when you can talk with 6th grade teachers.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, so we're working on that.
Hey, Adam, if I could, on the office hours.
Sure.
So, you know, I have a daughter who firmly believes that office hours are, you know, only for anybody that has a question, not for just a check-in. And so I wonder, you know, I actually think the check-ins would be valuable. I mean, I think we all in this virtual world are in the process of, like, you know, sort of appreciating moments to check in with colleagues and friends. And so I don't know if that can just be communicated a little bit, you know, either from the teachers to the students, like, hey, even if you don't have questions, would be good just to kind of have a check-in, at least from my perspective, that'd be helpful.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll pass that on. Meeting with the staff again on Friday. So right now, what I've got scheduled with staff is as Mondays and Fridays, and then sort of an optional, kind of this format, an optional check-in on Wednesday morning. I will pass that on to staff, because yes, we do want to encourage students. So Tyler Robinson's suggestion was that we make sure students know that they don't have to have questions or need help to get on the office hours, that they can get on office hours just to say hi to their teacher and check in, and we'll pass that on. We definitely want students to get on and check in, say hi, get some FaceTime with their teacher, even if they don't specifically need a bunch of help. No, that's a good suggestion. Thank you, Tyler.
Hey, just a thought that I've been working on, I'd like to send out there and get feedback, is sort of the first meeting that's non-academic, but everyone's welcome to do a Fitness Friday at 10 o'clock this Friday. I checked with everybody's schedule. It interferes a little bit with 15 minutes of Lily's science office hours, but other than that, it's pretty open. And I just found that doing fitness stuff before noon always worked better with the students. So any feedback, welcome. I'm going to push it out if that's okay, and invite everybody to be there. And hopefully that'll become a tradition.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mosen. Yeah, so if you aren't familiar, Mr. Mosen had something called Fitness Fridays in his PE classes prior to going to online learning. So that's exciting. So what were we talking about? We were talking about the office hours schedules, the check-ins. So we are doing, teachers are doing at least two things. They're doing office hours open to students to get support or check in or say hi. And we're also still doing our advisory meetings once a week. And those have been definitely primarily for the social emotional part, to check in and keep that connection, keep our community together. And a lot of the feedback I've heard, positive feedback I've heard, have been from those advisory meetings, like kids really excited to get on and see their advisory group and see their advisor. So that's been good.
Hi, I'm Ethan's mom. I was checking in about times on the schedule and stuff. I see times that he's only in online for 15 minutes at times, and it's not a whole hour long. Or there's somebody saying that you have to be in by 5 minutes after the time starts. And I thought it's the whole hour time frame.
So some of the office hours are broken into, if they have multiple grade levels, they broke them into 2 parts. I'm not sure. I'll take a look at it. Wasn't aware any of them were 15 minutes. I think some of them are 30, but I'll ask about that.
Yeah, because I think Miss Goodman changed hers because it kind of mixed in with Mr. Perkins' schedule a little bit in one day.
Okay.
Because she did have an hour last week, and now I'm seeing only 10:30 to 10:15 on those 2 days or 3 days. But
okay, I will follow up on that. 15 minutes might be a little bit small of a window, so we'll talk about that.
yeah, because I mean, I know the whole hour thing is supposed to be for kids to check in, to socialize, to kind of just do any kind of those kind of things to reconnect, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And also the whole, like, you got 5 minutes time frame to get into the thing. Sometimes right now with the Zoom, it's not consistent of getting in.
Yeah, no, those are definitely valid questions, and I will follow up on those, and we'll get some clarification.
All right, thank you.
No problem. All right. Any other questions or things now that we're over a week in that people are experiencing?
My question, is really just your suggestion maybe on the best way to track kind of status assignments, across all of the classes. Like, is there, consistent assignments due certain days, or does that vary by teacher? And should we, just as parents, be drilling down to each of the classes, and then aside from that, if you can give maybe some general feedback on best way to kind of track progress on Google Classroom as well.
Great question, Mr. Robinson, and it probably a multifaceted answer. So we have had a lot of discussion about tracking assignments and feedback. ASD decided that for elementary and middle school, the courses wouldn't be graded, so students won't get a final grade. But as we know, feedback is a really important part of teaching and learning, and providing assignments and providing content and lessons would lose a lot of meaning if students didn't at least get feedback on those lessons and those assignments. So we are definitely going to continue to provide feedback on the assignments and on the lessons that are put out. For a while, we were not sure, because we were told not to give grades. We were not sure if we could use Zangle Q, the grading system. And so we just recently came to the determination that we could continue to use that. So some teachers will actually post feedback and post whether or not assignments are completed in the system that you're used to. You'll be able to go on to Q and see that assignments have been done or not done and get feedback that way. I've left it open to teachers to use one of 2 formats, to either use that format, or to some teachers are already really comfortable just posting the assignments and the feedback in Google Classroom. And so that's the other place where you might find it. So you'll find feedback and be able to see if assignments were complete on Q, Zangle Q, the system we've always used, or on Google Classroom. As far as assignments being due, that is definitely teacher to teacher, and that's something that they are putting out in their Google Classrooms. So for language arts, science, social studies, and math, you just want to watch for those, the information coming out from those teachers on Google Classroom. And then also Mr. Mosen and Perkins are doing health and fitness, so they'll have stuff coming out. The best thing, we've had a lot of parents ask about being added to Google Classroom, and it doesn't really work that way. We can't add a parent into the Google Classroom. I can't be added into the Google Classroom unless they add me like as a co-teacher, which some teachers have, so I can kind of see how it works a little better. But if you're added as a student, the system treats you as a student and it wants you to complete assignments and do other things, and it kind of throws the whole thing off. But so what parents can do is just let the teacher know that you want to be added as a guardian. And it does have a feature to add you as a parent guardian. If you do that, it lets you sign up for updates. You can get those and I did that also, again, to test it for a couple students. So I get some daily updates. It's a lot of emails. It's every time they post an assignment or something in there, you're going to get an email. So you can get daily updates from your Google Classrooms, and then you'll really know, maybe more than you want. You'll really know what's going on. Or you can also sign up for a weekly update and get like a one-time weekly summary for your student on Google Classroom. So those are some tools that you can use to kind of keep track of what's going on and what's due when. The best way I've found, sort of being on the outside perspective of this, not a teacher and not a student, and trying to get a good handle on how this works, even prior to doing it distance. The best way I've found yet to really see what's happening on Google Classroom is to ask a student, hey, log on to your Google Classroom and show me. And they log on and you see the screen come up, and it's got the different classes, all the different classes they're enrolled in will be on their sort of their home screen. And then say, all right, now click on your social studies class, let me see it. And just sort of be a backseat driver and look over their shoulder and see their view. That I've found to be really helpful if you just don't know what's going on and you're not getting a clear answer, because strangely enough, sometimes middle schoolers don't give us the clearest answers when we have questions about things.
I think that's all kids.
Yeah. So hopefully that was helpful. I'm going to pause for a second to see if there's any follow-up questions or comments or anything else on that. And those of you educators out there who use it, feel free to chime in. I know Mr. Mosen, you got firsthand experience doing this as a teacher.
Well, because I'm teaching a study skills class, I've become part of many classes. And so I don't know if Tyler or other people are that familiar with it. I can't say that I was that familiar till this distance education. So I'm learning quite a bit. And that Guardian update would give you information on assignments and when they're due and if they've been turned in. So that's kind of handy. What the other thing I'm doing that's not Google Classroom related is I'm trying to get every student's schedule. At least this is what I would need, and I need it for my own kids, is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is when teachers are available. So let's say Isabel wants, if you're asking her about science and she's, she is totally on it, that's great. But, hey, this is Holsapple Science office hours on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Or if you're wondering about the English language arts, Tuesday and Thursday, Ms. Kodelman, 9 to 10, so the mornings are, it seems like a lot of the teachers have captured the mornings for office hours. And it might be handy. I will get one out to Isabel because she's in my advisory, and I'm kind of committed to getting one to every student. But right now I'm working on my study skills and then my advisories, and then we'll have that template that just has 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. But so look for that. Okay. I'll share one with Isabel, and I could email it to you also, so you can just see what it looks like.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. I still haven't mastered the prototype matrix for three students across all the time. You know, like am I working on like 3 different matrices or one master one? And it's challenged my logic skills for sure. But thank you, that'd be great.
Yeah. I have challenges with organization. This is what I came up with. I would love feedback on it. I might even be able to send you one this morning.
Great.
So yeah, that Howard definitely took it to another level with creating the individual student schedules, and that's awesome. Those are really slick. So what I'm trying to figure out how to do is provide that as a template that people can grab and use. If someone uses Google Docs and is pretty proficient in Google Docs, we could probably share the template, and then you just create a copy and save it into your own file. So that's sort of the next. We sort of went from the macro and we're going to the micro with schedules. So I'm going to share my screen for a second. So as we're talking about schedules, and just kind of give you guys a little walkthrough on this. So we started with a master school schedule, which after we got this fleshed out and decided who was doing what when, realized that the best way to show this and share this would be like this. This is the office hours by teacher. So this is the one that's on the Stream web page right now. And anybody who wants this can request this in the chat box, or you can request this via email, and Mrs. Bionich or I will send you this link anytime. That's funny, with all of the online learning and tools and advancements we've made to compensate from not being in our buildings, email still seems to be the preferred and the most effective tool for a lot of parents. We still have a lot of email back and forth, just sharing resources and helping people out. So this is the one that's on the web, and this shows each teacher and their office hours. The next one that I'm hoping to roll out really soon in the next day or two is, if you can see my tabs on the bottom, I've got 6th, 7th, and 8th grade tabs. And so here's the 6th grade schedule. So for a 6th grade parent, I imagine, and then we've got it for 7th and 8th. I imagine this would be a lot more user-friendly than the whole staff schedule, because you can just take a look and see each day and the time and when teachers are available for your students. And then going from macro to micro, the next level, the next step after we get these published would be to figure out how to do something more universal along the lines of what Howard's doing, which is to kind of help parents and students set up schedules that look something like this, but they are individual. So we'll roll those out and notify everyone shortly, and then we'll start working on helping with. And we're small enough, fortunately, that maybe the way we do individual schedules is the way that Mr. Mosen has already pioneered it, which is we just break it up maybe by advisory, and Ms. Bionich and I help out, and Mrs. Atkins, and we just start working to develop each individual schedule and send it to students. That might be how we do it. I forgot to mention, as we didn't have like a hard start. We just kind of started to roll into conversation as people came in. So at the outset, I forgot to mention, if you have questions and you don't feel like jumping in, go ahead and put them in the chat box. Mrs. Bionich is monitoring the chat box. And when we pause talking about things, she'll read the questions, share the questions with me, and we'll try to answer them. So feel free to add questions into the chat box as we go. So I only had a couple other things I wanted to talk about. Does anyone want to ask or add anything to conversation on schedules?
I want to add something
Sure, go
again.
ahead, Mr. Mosen.
One of the things that I thought would be really cool is to put a link into, every one of those classes so that students are, oh, there's Mr. Holzappel's science. I can just click right there and I'll be on the Zoom meeting. And I just want to make sure all parents know we need to get this clear that those should work, but it's possible that as we're figuring this out, like I'm trying to roll out an all school kind of assembly like thing with this Fitness Friday, that some teachers, if there was a conflict, they might change their Zoom link. And so on those schedules, my hope is to get them out with the links, but then if there's ever a challenge with getting to the Zoom meeting, always check the Google Classroom, because that's where the most up-to-date stuff is. So the Google Classroom is where every teacher, I've polled everybody, is putting their Zoom links. Right? And then you can find them other places in emails and on these schedules. But if there's a challenge in getting into a class, I don't want students to give up because they got the wrong link. Just always check the Google Classroom.
Yeah, that's definitely. We initially were going to put the links on the schedules and make it, and make that really easy to find. And then the concerns with Zoom started popping up that you've probably heard some about in the news or some information that we put out. And so we sort of pulled back on making the links and the access to public. So we could still continue to share the links, but so just it's a good kind of a topic to blend right into, is to talk more about Zoom. We can continue to share the links, but one of the steps we've taken for safety is to make sure that all meetings have to have a password. So Zoom meetings now you have to have the password or the code to get into them, and those are all shared by teachers, either emails or on Google Classroom or both, and we can mix those up as needed. Another safety feature that I really like to keep our classes safe, that Zoom enabled as a universal feature in response to some of the concerns, is as you all encountered when you joined us today, you join into a waiting room and you have to be admitted by the host. And I found that hosting one of these is definitely a multifaceted job. So if you're doing Zoom meetings and you haven't encountered this yet, I encourage you to make someone a co-host. So right now, Sylvia is my co-host. So she just admitted 3 people into the meeting while I was talking, which, I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. So I would have had to stop and admit those 3 people. So definitely that's a nice feature. So Zoom requires now the waiting room feature. So and that's why we put out to parents that, students have to use their real name. They can't use a nickname, or, middle schoolers like to come up with all kinds of funny monikers and names. But for safety purpose, we've asked that teachers can identify who the person is in the waiting room before they admit them. So they're not going to admit someone with a name they don't recognize. Yeah, so how have the Zoom meetings been going for those of you that have had kids get on them, or those of you that have been able to engage in that way?
We haven't had any issues.
Good. You've got multiple students at different grade levels that are having to get on Zoom meetings. 3 students, 3 different schools, grade levels that are having to get on to Zoom meetings, and it's been pretty smooth so far.
Yeah, between that and Melissa's meetings, my meetings. So with both of us working from home, I think the limiting factor has been our internet connectivity. So I can tell when there's 6 meetings going on at the same time, but things get a little buffery. But other than that, it's been pretty easy.
Pretty smooth. That's good to hear. Yeah, we thankfully, and I mean, I'm thankful, and I know we're lucky, but I also, really think we can attribute it to our school culture too, that we've had basically no issues so far with, some of the issues that have been encountered around the district or in other places with Zoom. Unfortunately, there's some stuff out there about students acting inappropriately in Zoom meetings and doing things they shouldn't and whatnot. And I'm super proud to tell you that we have had 0 reports of that at Stream Academy. At some point, just like in a regular school, kids get a little squirrely. At some point, someone will be a little squirrely in a Zoom meeting and I'll hear about it and I'll follow up with a parent. But so far, I think our kids are just so excited to get on and connect and see their teachers and see each other that they haven't had time yet to think about being naughty. See, we've got a few more people who have joined us. Welcome, everyone. So feel free to ask questions. You can use the chat box and type them in, and Mrs. Beyondich will share them with me, and we'll try to answer them. Or when I give some pause, feel free to jump in and grab the microphone and ask a question. So I'm going to stop for a second and just kind of give people a chance to ask questions or talk, or Ms. Beyondich, if there's a question from the chat that you want me to answer right now, I can do that too.
Katie Bissinen asked if could things in the PE Friday all school sessions be layered into the grade level calendars when we get those set up? And Ms. Brown wants to know, are people sharing anything like outdoor adventures with social distancing on Instagram or Facebook? Good questions. So Mosen, I think the first question is something you can tackle. I think it's a good suggestion from Ms. Bisson, that maybe if you get the Fitness Fridays going and get them up and running, we add them onto the grade level calendars so that students can see those.
Yeah. One thing I love about Stream is our all school meetings where we kind of celebrate each other and get together non-academically. And this will be our first chance. And I see it all as kind of an experiment. I'm going to need like probably 2 or 3 other co-hosts to help me, because I don't know how many people, it's possible you get 100 students. I don't know how that would work, but people will be coming in and out, and I'm super optimistic. And so I don't want to put anything on the calendar until see how this works, check in with other teachers, see how we can make it better. And definitely that's where I want to go with it. I want to make sure we continue that tradition of having non-academic all schools, kind of get together, celebrating, sharing things. And so that's my hope, and any input is welcome. So we'll see how this first Friday goes. I'd like to advertise, and really drum up some enthusiasm for it, starting right now. So.
Awesome. And then the second question was about sharing about outdoor adventures. So yeah, that's a good question. We did put out there very just briefly a while back, if anyone is doing any social distancing outdoor adventures, to share those pictures. Might be good for us to help me remember, Ms. Beyondich, put that in our next message to parents and encourage parents more to share, to send us those pictures, and we can post and share. I know anecdotally that Stream is doing a good job of getting outside with social distancing and continuing to get fresh air and build in exercise and really take advantage of some of those opportunities. So for anybody on here, if you've got any outside adventures and you can share them, feel free to send Mrs. Beyondich or I the pictures, and we will post those and share the cool adventures going on.
Kimberly joined us. She wants to know, how important is it that students attend all of the teachers' Zoom meetings? Is that the way to go to class?
No.
Or
So
is it just the way to check in?
Good question. Yeah. And I think I was about to start, I talked about office hours, which I wanted to do. We talked about assignments and how to kind of track if students are doing assignments and see that.
and we talked some about Google Classroom, and then I think where I broke off on this tangent and we just kind of started, answering questions on it. Kind of that brings us back to Google Classroom, and sort of what I wanted to talk about today is a little more was how to engage in e-learning. So the terms, the technical terms or the edu-speak terms that are used out there in regards to online learning are synchronous and asynchronous. And so synchronous learning is live learning. It's you get on like this, like what we're doing now is synchronous. If you were to watch the recording of this meeting later and to take notes or whatever, that would be asynchronous. And so the format that we are using is largely asynchronous. It does not have to be live real-time learning. So our teachers, and this is a conscious choice, we worked on our model and really how we thought this would work best, keeping in mind schedules and equity, student access, and formats that our students and our staff are already familiar with, Google Classroom. So our primary mode of learning, at this time is asynchronous. So that is the teachers are posting lessons and assignments and videos and all of those materials in Google Classroom. And students can access that anytime. It doesn't have to be at a set time of the day, and it doesn't have to be live with the teacher. And they can watch the videos, they can work on the assignments, they can submit those assignments on Google Classroom, and then teachers will follow up, check that, give them feedback, and keep it rolling. So that's what asynchronous learning is. That's primarily what students are doing. We're not really doing live teaching. It's not really a practical way to do it. So to bring it back around to the question and to answer the question, no, the office hours are not mandatory or required. You're not going to miss any instruction if you don't go to office hours. Office hours are follow-up, their help, their support. So what you'd want to do, you'd want them to log into the office hours if they didn't understand the math lesson and they submitted the assignment and got 5 out of 10. Or if they're working on their story for English language arts or their essay for language arts and they're just really struggling to figure out what that, topic, sentence, and thesis look like. That's when they would log into office hours and say, I'm not getting this, I need some help, or how do I write this part? What is supposed to be in a conclusion? How do I, solve an inequality? That's what office hours are intended to be. They're one-on-one or small group, their support, additional instruction. So hopefully that clears it up. The office hours are synchronous. They're a small part of this delivery. The main delivery is asynchronous. It's get on Google Classroom. I really like that a lot of our teachers are posting videos because it gives more than just kind of reading what they've posted on there. So hopefully that clears it up.
Thank you, Mr. McKelkey. One of our parents is wondering if we can do some sort of a group outdoor adventure all on our own in our own neighborhoods, like a bike-a-thon or a walk-a-thon, organize a time when everyone goes out and does something at the same time on their own.
That is a great question for Miss Gatlin.
We've kicked around some ideas of virtual events, and so we have considered that. Those are really good ideas. I like the bike-a-thon, the walk-a-thon. Yeah, I guess we would just have to consider that people aren't coming into contact with each other and the whole liability of it. But it seems like there's definitely some potential for that. And I have a meeting with Randy Dowd, who's our Onward and Upward partner, and he has been doing some virtual events. And so I'm going to pick his brain in a couple days and kind of get an idea of how he's doing those and what he's doing to get an idea what that might look like. So we're thinking about that. Yeah.
All the training.
Thank you.
Aaron Fletcher's mom says we're doing such a good job that Aaron still thinks he's on spring break.
It's definitely different. I appreciate that, and I hope he feels like he's on spring break, but he's still getting a little bit of work done. So this has really been an interesting adventure. I'm really proud of our school and our staff, how they responded, and our staff has been on this and out in front of this from day one, and I'm super proud of that. I feel like we've been really prepared, and we rolled things out in a really good way, and that's because of our staff. It's because our staff is so on it. I keep sharing with people, and I'll share with you guys that are online now, that from day one, when we knew we were going to be doing something different, our staff their attitude was, okay, let's do it. Let's go. Let's start working on it. How are we doing this? Give us some direction. Okay, got it. That's what we'll do. We're ready. So I'm really proud of that. And then I'm really proud of the way our students and parents have engaged. Parents, you've been awesome. Getting on today, getting on last week, responding by email, responding to the surveys, responding on Facebook. Just our parents have been so engaged and so good from the get-go at letting us know what you need and giving us good feedback. I've gotten little to no negative feedback. The feedback we've gotten has been, hey, you guys are doing great, and this is awesome. I appreciate this. Can you do this? Or can you help me with this? Or can you give us more clarification on this? And that's the kind of feedback you want, right? You want to know how we can tweak things, how we can improve this, how we can get better. And so just, man, our school community has come together in a way that's just been awesome. Every challenge, every difficult thing you face is an opportunity to rise to greatness. It's an opportunity to, freak out and panic and fall apart, or it's an opportunity to come together and really show how great an organization is. And man, this school community is great.
Michelle has information. She says Healthy Futures has 100 miles in May that they've extended into April. So Stream could get a team together that families could join. It allows miles for other physical activities as well, such as housework.
That
So
sounds good.
I'll look into Healthy Futures and see about getting a team for us. We have a parent interested in, is it still possible to check out a Chromebook? Yes, it definitely is.
No, that's another thing I'm proud of. So we, ASD is a massive organization, and it does a great job with size and what it's trying to manage. But it also really shows that there are advantages to being a charter school and to be able to operate somewhat independently and do things the way that works best for your families. So ASD had a great plan that I totally understand for rolling out device checkout, but what that plan would have entailed is we would have waited quite a while to get to checking out devices for middle school students. So we decided to create our own plan, and Ms. Beyondich and I have a form that you can fill out, simple, easy Google form. And if you fill that form out, you get a Chromebook. And so I want to be really clear. It's not for based on, need or income or, any of those other, type of things, criteria. It's for all of our students. So basically, if any Stream student needs a Chromebook, we will give them a Chromebook, period. So it just, if they need it. So fill out, Ms. Beyondich or I will email you the form. Maybe Mrs. Beyondich, you can attach the link in the chat if you get a second. Fill out that form, and then your name goes on the list. We've handed out, I think, 32 Chromebooks already to our students. So that's almost a quarter. It's a fifth, over a fifth of our students. We're almost up to a quarter of our students have gotten a Chromebook from us.
So yeah, and the link is on our website on the front page and on the family's COVID resources page. So it's in both of those places as well, but we can get them emailed as well.
Yeah. So yes, we will continue to hand out Chromebooks. The biggest issue for us is not getting, having a Chromebook or checking it out or the logistics of that we've been able to figure out. Mrs. Beyondich makes a great dispatcher. If she ever gets tired of education, she should talk to APD or the fire department or something, because the way that it works, it's kind of funny. I'm in a car driving around Anchorage, and Mrs. Beyondich is dispatching me and helping me to navigate and communicating with families and with me back and forth. So we are trying to streamline, wait until we have 5 or 6 to check that are ready to check out before we do that, because it's a little bit of an endeavor to go out and deliver Chromebooks. So probably today or tomorrow, I will be doing my next round of Chromebook deliveries. And so just to reassure folks, what we've been sharing is, so the Chromebooks that I took from school were completely wiped down, Clorox wiped down inside and out, and then put into safe storage, not touched until I check them out again. They're put into bags. When I put the Chromebooks into the bags and hand them off, I'm wearing rubber gloves, hand sanitizing. So we're being as safe as possible, not to, potentially pass on the virus that might be living on a surface or something. So I encourage you still, when you get them from me, to, I'm trying not to hand them off, hand to hand. So I've been hanging them on the doorknob and ringing the doorbell, and I wait obviously to make sure someone gets it, or, set it on the porch and wait and say hi from 6 feet away. And so we've been handing those off, but we're really trying hard to make sure we're following all the CDC guidelines and just being extra safe with that. Even though I'm being super safe, they're not exposed. They're not in my house. I actually have kept them in the car and covered. So just to really minimize exposure and wiping them down. Like I said, even though I'm being really safe with handling them and handing them off, I'd still encourage, you like with your groceries, when you get that bag from me, take it in the house, whatever you pull off, give it a quick wipe down with a Clorox wipe, just be extra careful, because the last thing on earth we want is to, mess up flattening the curve and all that.
One of our parents suggested that, and Megan is going to talk to one of the teachers, but a contest for building a structure outside.
I've thought about that too, about a fort. So Perkins and Mosen both have done like fort building. I don't know, Howard, I don't know if you've done it, but I know Scott Perkins has done in some of his outdoor survival classes, and maybe even PE, they've done like fort building contests. And it's kind of funny, like you could walk through Muldoon Park at certain times of the year and there's like 30 forts out there, in the woods. So like a fort or a shelter building contest would be pretty cool. If you're into outdoor survival, like a lot of us streamies are, and I grew up in rural Alaska and I like to spend a lot of time, out in the woods. That kind of stuff can be really intriguing. I think one of my favorite things I've ever done with stream is when we go to Eklutna Lake. We weren't able to do it this year. We did it the prior couple of years. We do a shelter building as one of our activities down on the beach, and there's a lot of driftwood all washed up, and so I've had a really good time doing that activity with kids, building makeshift shelters and forts. So I definitely would be down for a fort or shelter building competition. That's a good idea. It's Alaska, right, Mr. Mosen? We should know how to build shelter in a hurry if we need to. Good. The only other thing I had like on my list to mention to people was just to encourage you to check out the APC meeting. So our APC is our Academic Policy Committee. It's the board that oversees our school, Stream Academy. All charter schools have their own board. And Mrs. Yip, who's on in her beautiful art studio, is the chair of our APC. And Ms. Beyondich is also on the APC. So once a month we meet and just general operations of the school type of thing. And so that monthly meeting is usually not attended by parents because it's at 5:30 on a Wednesday night, and that's not, end of a long day for parents. Not a lot of people go to a meeting, but maybe it'll be a little easier to attend an APC meeting since it'll be online. So we'll post that. It's next Wednesday at 5:30. We'll post that link, that Zoom link. I'll email that out. And then today is our test run. So if you came in late and missed it, we are streaming live on YouTube today. Don't try to stream the YouTube and be on Zoom at the same time, because it's kind of like when you call into a radio show and they tell you to turn off your radio, you'll hear the feedback. But we are streaming this meeting live on YouTube, and we've had several people check it out. And so that is actually a test to make sure we can do it for the APC meeting. So people can Zoom in for the APC meeting, or you can be a more passive participant and just watch the meeting on YouTube. Because that sounds like an awesome Wednesday evening, just kicking back, watching a board meeting on YouTube.
Either that or do your taxes.
Yeah.
So I think watching, unless there's you want to make a public testimony, I think watching on YouTube would probably be the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
And we'll put out guidelines for if you want to have a 3-minute testimony. We'll put out information when we publish our agenda, which should be at the end of this week, beginning of next week at the latest.
All right. I've run through the list of things I wanted to touch base on, and we've taken questions all sort of intermittently, but I think now is the time just to leave it open and go through the chat box if there are any more questions, or just give anyone else who wants to chime in. Or
now I'd like to encourage everyone to have their kids fill out the online learning week 2 survey.
Yes.
They'll get put in for a drawing. They can fill it out every day. They can get in as many as 5 chances to win this week. The drawing is for an ice cream party at Tasty Freeze after the Hunker Down order is over. And that link is on the front page of our website.
Here is the lovely Stream Academy website that Mrs. Beyondich maintains. Hopefully you've all been there. It's got some really cool features on it. Here is 2 really important things for parents. One, the student activity survey. Click on there and fill out the survey and tell us what you're working on and how you're doing. And like Mrs. Beyondich said, you can do that every day this week if you want. There'll be a new one for next week. And we're doing some kind of a prize each week. And then here is the device loan agreement. All you have to do to get a Chromebook from us is fill that out, and your principal will deliver you a Chromebook within a week. Voila.
Yeah, thanks for that. So many schools in the district don't use their website to the extent that we use our website. We try to make sure that all of the information that we have put out is on our website somewhere. If you can't find it, you email me and I will make sure that it's findable for everyone. So if you need anything, email me. And if you think the website could be improved, give me a suggestion, because I will be happy to make that correction.
That's a good point. I think that's something that bears repeating, and we could continue to sort of beat the drum on. If you can't find it, it's on the website. You need something, and that, like Mrs. Beyondich and I will continue to send links to people. Just send us emails all the time and say, hey, I need this, and we don't mind even if it's on the website. We don't mind sending the link. We'll always do that. But that's something, if you have any of you have are looking for something, or you are talking to someone who's looking for a resource, always direct them to our website. It's most likely there.
And then maybe you want to suggest or talk a little bit about 6th grade seats for next year.
I was just going to talk about lottery. That's funny. You read my mind. So the lottery and enrollment is great right now. We our enrollment is really at a good place, you know, going into our 5th year. So we had initially opened 60 seats in 6th grade, which is what we've done the past couple of years. And what we saw was going to happen if we filled all 60 was that we would have about 40 boys and 20 girls. And we really want to keep a gender balance as close to 50-50 as we can. And so that's within our rights with managing the lottery to manipulate that. Gender balance is one of those things we are allowed to change things to maintain. So we capped off that lottery at 30 boys. So we have 30 boys in 6th grade for next year accepted, and we've got a wait list of maybe 10 or so boys waiting for those seats if they open up. And then we've got either 21 or it might be 22 now. Is it 22? So we've got 22 girls in. So even though we opened 60 seats and we do have a wait list, we've got 52 6th graders. And so the second lottery is already open. And so what we'll do is we'll wait, you know, for everyone who applies through the second lottery, and we'll fill up those seats and get to where we've got close to 30 and 30. And then we'll kind of look at where we're at from there. We'll open up more seats and we'll take more off the wait list. So we've got 52 6th graders. We're going to balance that out with 8 more girls or close to it. And we've got a wait list of 10 or so kids in 6th grade. So we've got a wait list at all 3 grade levels, which is not good news for parents who really want to get in, but it's really good news for Stream Academy because it's really just showing our growth and where we're at, and it speaks to the health of our program, certainly. So 6th grade, yeah, about 10. I'm looking at it right now. 7th grade, pretty limited, because 7th grade for next year, that's our 6th graders right now. And we have a really strong 6th grade class. I think we've still got 58 6th graders, and you know, we only want to have about 60 seats, 3 cohorts of kids. So we account for a little bit of attrition. Families will move and things will change over the summer. So we just opened 7 seats in 6th grade. So we've got 7, in 7th grade, sorry. We've got those 7 7th graders. And we've got a wait list of 16. We have 16 7th graders on the wait list right now. And then in 8th grade, we initially weren't going to open any seats. We like to keep that cohort pretty small. And at about 40 8th graders, give or take, is what we want. And we feel like we'll have that with returning students. We initially didn't open any seats, and then we opened a couple seats just to add to that gender balance. So we took 2 8th graders. We've got 4 more on the wait list. Wait list at all 3 grade levels. Second lottery's open. Enrollment really looking healthy for next year.
Excellent.
Were there any other things in the chat, Ms. Beyondich, or other topics that we wanted to touch on?
No, I think we've responded in the chat to a couple of people. Megan's been helping with that. And there's just been a lot of positive feedback in the chat as well. And as people have been signing off, they've been saying thank you and that you are appreciated for all that you're doing.
Awesome, thanks. Okay.
We have had a few people
thank you, Sarah.
Form for Chromebooks while we've been on the air. So
good. Sarah, say hi to Jasper for me, please. Tell him we miss him. Both of the boys, tell him we miss him. So I don't try to keep the chat box open or read the chat box while I'm doing this, but it does, like, if I happen to see it when someone puts a new chat in, it pops up at the bottom of the screen in a little bubble. So occasionally I'll see what someone just typed, like above the chat box, like a preview or something. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Miss Bonnerts, I should have.
Bonerts.
Miss Boners, I should have gone to you earlier. Sorry, when we had more people on, and see if you had any updates or you wanted to share. I know last time we went through your website and stuff, I think that was really good. So sorry, I'm a little late, but is there anything you wanted to add or share for people?
That's okay. Yeah, so I will have another Zoom circle, social emotional stuff, but this time we're gonna talk about, hang on, I've been doing a lot of lessons. We're going to talk about making good choices, and positive influences, negative influence, they're all around us, even if we're doing education this way. So encourage your students to join. And then also I have just a short little lesson for the kids to go through. They can go through with a friend over the phone. They can go through with a sibling, parents, just to talk about that stuff, just to start thinking about that stuff, because middle school is hard. So yeah, check out my website. I still have appointments available for Thursday morning if kids want to check in. And yes, I'm just constantly adding small things on that website. So it's going to be different, hopefully every time you look at it, for a while at least. So I'm still adding, and so check it out. Lots of resources for your kids, for you, for your families, for, yeah, everybody. So check it out.
Cool. Thank you. All right. Anything else? Anybody else want to chime in about anything?
I'm out of coffee.
I am too.
So my workspace is my kitchen table, and the kitchen's literally right there. And so I have been able to pop into my kitchen. I can still hear. I've heard a couple of times in some of these meetings, I've heard people like, "Where'd he go? I was talking and he left." And like, you don't see me, but I'm less than 10 feet away, so I can hear you still.
That's kind of creepy. Yeah, I've said it before when you've ditched me.
Yeah. So I don't go far when I go to get coffee. So it's been kind of nice.
Well, I appreciate that teachers and APC members have popped into our morning coffee, our drive-by coffee. So I want to say thank you to the teachers, the staff members, and the APC members for coming in.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. This is the nicest shirt that I've worn in 14 days. So I wanted to step up my game. I almost put on like a full dress shirt and tie, but I thought that I'm not ready for that yet. And I'm not wearing sweatpants for the first time in probably 14 days. So I've actually got a polo shirt on and real pants. And so I'm really proud of myself. The parent meeting has made me really step up my work from home game.
Yes, and you've just advertised that on YouTube because we are still streaming on YouTube. So
yep. So for all our YouTube viewers out there, the thousands of people viewing our live show on YouTube, yes, I'm dressing much more formally today, which is funny because a polo shirt's not super formal, but it's me stepping up my game today.
So our charter school liaison, Daryl Vinsek, is going to help solve the problem so that we're ADA compliant with closed captioning. So we're going to work on closed captioning for our meeting so that we can get that done. And I'm going to look into closed captioning on Zoom, although that might be a paid feature that doesn't come with our education block right now. But we'll look into that as well so that we're ADA compliant.
Cool. All right. Any
Well, thank
other
you.
questions or thoughts or?
Kelly Harris said she was going to mention how dapper you looked today. Don't let it go to your head, boss.
Too late. Too late. Thank you. Appreciate it. Maybe I'll do actual like shirt and tie for the next one. Well, thank you guys all for being here. It's really nice to have you on. Thank you to the parents that are still with us. And
yeah, Chantel, tell Cameron we miss him. We miss his face.
Yes, we miss Cameron. He's such a neat young man. He's always so positive and so friendly. It's just really, I miss our kids. I I really come to reflect on the favorite part. My favorite part of my day is the before school starts, when students are arriving, being at the front door, greeting all our students as they arrive, and greeting parents and getting to talk to people as you know, as they drop kids off and wave, and just getting to see everyone in the morning. And then I don't know if all the parents know this, but at 8 o'clock, when it's time to go to school, we have everyone in the lobby. We gather them all together, gather them all up in a circle, and we do a launch. We give them a positive send off to class. And Mr. Mosen does a guest launch for me Thursday mornings, and the rest of the days, usually it's me, and I jump up on a bench and lead the Pledge of Allegiance and give them some positive words and say, have a great day. And man, that whole first hour or so, that, you know, greeting kids in the morning and saying hi to everybody and then launching them to class, man, I really miss that.
Yeah, school's not much fun from my sewing room. I got to tell you, I miss the kids.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to popping into some more advisory meetings and saying hi to a few more advisory groups.
I do love on the surveys when the kids fill out good things. I do love reading their good things. So we're going to keep adding tell us a good thing to the surveys so that we can get some feedback from our kiddos. And the Sarah and Hatcher went exploring, and they sent us a picture, and that was fabulous. We've got that posted as well on our social media site. So get Jasper to send us a picture, Sarah, when he's outside. Take a picture and send it to us.
All right, I think we're going to wrap up unless there's something else. Anything for the good of the order? Anybody have any last thoughts? All right, thank you, everybody. I'm going to sign off and close the meeting. Have a great day. We'll see you on Thursday.
All right, thank you.